From Iceland. So it's sunny today. It's 4 degrees Celsius. I'm going to switch the camera.
It's exactly the same. You have to pay in advance, like they do not want to put in a payment when testing, but it really isn't a problem. I think I'm not entirely sure how.
As you see, it's very beautiful. It's a very beautiful day.
I don't know if you're registered.
It's about 4 degrees Celsius, 40 Fahrenheit, no wind, and I'm here by this place over here called Kaffivagnin. Kaffivagnin, or the coffee wagon. This is a very classic place that's been here for several decades here by the harbor. And the old fishermen of Iceland used to have their morning coffee here before they went out fishing. And yeah, this is the boat that we're looking at here. This is a famous Coast Guard vessel called Odin. Odin, like the chief Norse god, and like my son's name. Hi, Julia. And he was famous especially in the so-called Cod Wars against Britain, when we were expanding our coast, our fishing limits, and the Brits were not happy about that. And these ships over here were armed with huge scissors to cut the nets of the British trawlers that came in Icelandic waters. Yes, I'm just on my T-shirt. If I'll show you better. It's such a sunny day. So So we're having a chat about coffee, a little bit about coffee. I'm here facing the sun, so a little bit glistening here. So small coffee. This is the most popular brand, or most, like, this is kind of like the Starbucks of Iceland. Called te og kaffi, tea and coffee.
It is really nice. Yeah, it's nice.
And it's a family business. Been here since, I think, if I remembered correctly, 1989. I think so. And so they have like 9 stores scattered around Reykjavik and a couple of more places. And yeah, it's like most recognizable like coffee, and you can buy their coffee also in the grocery stores, like Bonus and stuff. And I sometimes pick up a bag like espresso or something like that. And yeah, yes, Judith, T-shirt when it's no wind, you know, sun is shining straight on my face. I just love it. So I decided to start this a little bit earlier because I have to. Hilda went to the volcano. She was gonna check out the volcano today with her girlfriend, and so yeah, I decided to. I have to pick up the boys, so I just started this a little bit early, and yeah, have a coffee with you and show you also a couple of things. Yes, it's Starbucks, of course, but I have also a couple of Icelandic delicacies for you to check out.
I came here 10 years
So, do you know what this is?
1970. And I moved here.
To the right-hand side,
I used to teach in the UK and bring my students.
we have Happy Marriage Cake, or Hjónabandssæla. Now, this is a very classic, cafe when you're having a coffee and if you want a little bit of a pie. This is a jam on top and very, a little bit sweet. Then we have this year lagkaka, or layer cake. Yes, the weather changed quite quickly here, Colin. So yeah, a bit different the weather than the Golden Circle. And then we of course have the Icelandic donut over here. That's the traditional donut bread. There's a really nice tradition of some families. They fry these donuts, a kleinur. This is called kleinur in Icelandic. And then finally we have the Icelandic pancake over here. This like very, very thin, like crepe style, with a little bit of sugar inside. And sometimes, if you were rich, you had jam or jam and cream, but the traditional thing was just a sprinkle of sugar.
Within a week I've lost.
So have you tried anything of this?
Yeah, but still lovely. Better than the UK.
It's still working kind of. Like, I like it.
Yes, John, of course I remember the
To be honest, nice to have a break
The
from that, but
Iceland Express.
COVID will start again.
That was like the start before WoW Air. That was like the cheaper alternative airliner from Iceland. And it was a big thing for Iceland at the time because
Someone who was saying
you know, Iceland Air kind of dominated, and they just set the prices, and when finally we got some cheap flights out of Reykjavik, that was a big thing for Iceland.
maybe you have those volcanoes really as a
Yeah.
safety net.
Cleaning out, yeah.
There was a lot of proof of that. It was like, what's
You've been
We like our coffee strong here.
It's
It's a very traditional thing for us to have like
Weird. It's
like some say it. I think it's
crazy.
French style, or it has a really strong aroma and also hits you with caffeine. That's a traditional like coffee drink when you have like a cup of coffee at like even like a gas station. You'd get pretty strong coffee at the gas station.
event tomorrow. Where people will go and pick all the trash. Which is
So
very-
But they should have to.
yes, I see.
You know, if they can drink there,
I see Susan knows that.
why can't they carry them out?
Icelandic pancakes. So this is Iceland.
It's the same.
I saw somebody was asking where I'm located.
everywhere like
I'm in Iceland.
Yeah.
it's not.
So what should I start with, guys?
Go back halfway. Oh, yeah.
And as I said, you can ask me anything.
Like the wind change, so we had to get somewhere
Cool,
else.
John?
And then you have to climb with the rope and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, some say that the best coffee that they ever
as
had
long as you follow
was in Iceland.
whatever you're told, it's great.
I do. I like the.
You see the harper concert hall over there in the middle of that,
Been watching that a lot.
Have you been watching the
over there,
live stream?
No.
and
People from abroad who were watching that
Yeah.
when it started erupting.
as I said earlier, this is the place that I'm
Then people
at today, Kaffivagnin, or the coffee wagon. This is down by the old Reykjavik harbor, and a very traditional thing.
more entertaining.
Right. Well,
Yes, it is. Jody, it is a thing like having these some kind of a fried dough
Enjoying it and
pastry, a very traditional thing. So
big city life.
if you look at it, it's very donut-like. A little bit fried on the outside, but very good.
Was Lebensmittel für Jared
So how's the weather in your parts of the world? As I said, we go like sunbathing in
Jared war für
this kind of weather. As long as there is no weather, there is no wind.
nichts machen konnte mit seiner Lunge und
Ich habe die mit den Menschen.
Yeah, the layered cake is, for example, very traditional for Christmas.
seine Freundin ist irgendwie so wie was
You would
keine Ahnung, auf jeden Fall. Vielleicht noch besser sagen, sonst hätten
you would have like a big like a this size dish with this kind of layer cake, and very traditional also for like confirmations and stuff like that, like a
Ich habe halt sowas.
formal
Ich habe halt so nur
family gatherings.
10.000. Aber die hatte auch
also lebensmittelmäßig.
ja, ein paar Sachen schon. Also auch noch.
But it's funny to see that there are some locals here that frequent this place that when you come back and again, then you always see the same faces.
Okay, jetzt hat er noch schon.
It is a lovely day, Nina. Are you still collecting lava rocks, Julie? Yes, I will do it, but I was going to do this. I was going to go this Easter because we didn't have anything planned. So I was gonna walk this Easter, like probably half of the nation. But we got a summer cottage or cottage or house in Akureyri to the north. So I'm gonna go there and enjoy the Easter vacation over there. But I'll probably schedule to go to the volcano again next week, like middle of next week, and then I'll try to catch some stones. But yeah, there are so many requests that I don't know how to manage that, to be honest. Robin, 72 degrees, that's the warmest it gets in Iceland. Like 72 degrees Fahrenheit, 15 or 17 Celsius in Iceland. So the kleina, or the Icelandic donut, was quite good, but I'm going to show you more. So what should we try next? Ég er að tala við síman. Ég er að tala við síman. Ég er ekki að tala við þig, sorry. So what would you like to try next? The Icelandic pancake, or the layer cake, or the happy marriage cake. Tracy, how far is the erupting volcano from me? It's about 30 kilometers. It's about roughly, like maybe where I'm from right now, maybe 35, something like that. So I think we should try the layer cake. So as you see, I remember my mom used to make this. That was kind of like a, especially I remember it around Christmas. This was like one of the assortments that she would make. It's like a very maybe it's fading today, but back in the day, like a couple of decades ago, you need to make at least 4 or 5 different types of small cookies and cakes for Christmas.
Ja gut, aber ich meine, in dem Sinne ist es ja gut, dass ihr euch entschieden habt, nichts machen, weil...
Ja, vielleicht auch nicht.
Weil jetzt musst du dich nicht verantworten können. Also weil, ich meine, klar...
Such a hard time doing what I do, right? It's basically, John, it's basically just sugary cream. I'll post a recipe later on. And Letitia, yes, I have to go jogging after this. But I decided to actually went jogging today, like around noon. But so just to give me an excuse to show you more here. Steph is asking that, she's saying that, or he, not sure, he's coming in November and hoping to see some aurora. I think beginning of November, it's you never know. It's dark enough. It just depends on the weather. Is there a cloud cover? Will it be constantly cloudy? If that's so, then you're out of luck. But the northern lights are constantly there. It just depends on how strong they are each day, basically. Bojana, what's the temperature outside? It's about 4 degrees Celsius. So that's 40 Fahrenheit. So, but the real thing is there is no wind. The coffee that I'm drinking right now is called, or the brand is called Te og Kaffi, tea and coffee. This is like the most common. So they have about 9 stores here in Reykjavik, and then they do coffee for grocery stores, and they do coffee for these guys here, obviously. So there are basically 2 brands. I'm going to show you. So this is one of the brands. That's one of them. Tea and coffee. You'll see that brand outside the coffee house. Very elegant, styled coffee houses usually, and bit expensive. Some of the, like if you have some pastry or something like that, bit expensive, but usually good coffee. Janet, Nescafe. That's. Then we have also this here. Capita, or just a small cup of coffee. This is the other brand, like the 2 chains of coffee houses. They have about 6 places here in Reykjavik, and same with them. Usually good coffee. But my favorite coffee house, probably in Reykjavik, is called, like just for coffee, if you're just going for coffee, it's Reykjavik Roasters. And they are located, there are a couple of places just close by the Hallgrímskirkja church. So Hallgrímskirkja, the monument of Reykjavik. And they do really good coffee, usually. They are sometimes switching the daily brew, but usually the coffee is quite strong, like I want it. And we have actually quite a saying here. It's a togara kaffi. I want a togara kaffi. That's basically a trawler coffee, and that, that's a strong batch of coffee. It's not tea. It's you get the caffeine hit.
Ja. Ja, Joyce und Nicholas habe ich gesehen mit dem T-Shirt.
So what do you call a sad cup of coffee? A depresso. I just saw this. I have a horrible humor sometimes. Yes, Reykjavik Roasters. Yeah, that's kind of my favorite thing. Steph, what's the absolute top thing to do in town? Yeah, Reykjavik Roasters, best coffee. I recommend that you try out this here, this happy marriage cake. It's a bit, the jam is. Horrible.
Voll, also nach Akurey habe ich dann auch echt so gefühlt, okay, ich bin jetzt so ein bisschen auf ready wieder nach Isafjörður.
Hi Shannon.
Oder dachtest du, ja, ist jetzt auch okay?
Yeah, about cream. Yeah, sometimes. Like people around me tend to do it black. I either do it black or a little bit of milk. So.
Als Gast auf einmal dort zu sein? Im September waren wir das nicht so ganz bewusst.
Yes, unfortunately, forgot my sunglasses. I usually not, you know, it's March in Reykjavik, and yeah, I usually don't use sunglasses unless it's July, August.
Und also ja, das bringt dir einfach, ja, einfach ein bisschen Abstand. So. Weil auch die Leute halt, muss ich ehrlich sagen.
The most basic countries where we import from is Brazil, Colombia. I know both Café and tea and coffee. They try to make sure that they buy from like farmers that are doing it right, so to speak. Try to buy it directly. So they try to make sure that there are no middle men into the so the money goes straight to the farmers, the coffee farmers themselves. So I know that they try to make it as well politically correct or ethologically correct as possible. The Happy Marriage cake, I think it would ship pretty well. Bobby, do I have Starbucks in Iceland? No, no Starbucks, no proper international chain of coffee houses in Iceland. Yeah, I don't know why that is. I thought, like for example, Starbucks would be a pretty like if Reykjavik shouldn't be a part of that chain. But for some reason it's been there are not that many like international chains for things here. No, we have our KFCs and Subways and stuff like that, but Dave is saying his favorite coffee shop is Sandholt. Well, Sandholt is more like a bakery for me. You know, it's not for proper coffee. So, you know, it's a good bakery. It's good like you go for your morning bread, something like that, and a decent coffee with it. But it's not a coffee house practically. Patricia, you really don't want Starbucks? Well, you know, I wouldn't mind. It's not that I love Starbucks, anything like that, but I know some people are Starbucks addicts, so why not give them that option? There are some Starbucks like cold drinks available in like in petrol stores and stuff like that, but no chain. Yeah, Janet, I would love to go to Cuba and try coffee. That would be an excellent thing too. Cuba is on my bucket list. So I want to show you one thing here. Do you see this cup of coffee? I took this photo actually from a Facebook group that I am just that deals like a Icelandic Facebook group that deals with well, ghosts and Icelandic magic and elves and just stories and so one of the traditions around coffee in Iceland was for decades. My mother used to when she went to visit a friend, they would do this tradition that they would like fortune tell with coffee to each other. So they would basically take like a empty cup of coffee, a full cup of coffee. Then they would drink it until it was done. And then they would do like this. They would turn the coffee cup on its head, do it 3 times clockwise and 3 times anti-clockwise. Then they would blow it. And then they would put it on an oven. And after a while, after they had been chatting for a little bit of time, then they would look at the coffee cup and they would see the coffee remains or the coffee dregs, like you see in the cup over here. And the other person, or you know, if you would lay down your cup, your friend, and some people were stronger in the force than others. They would be better coffee readers than others, and they would basically tell you like your, you know, this was like maybe like a short-term fortune cookie. So it would tell you like this is about to happen, and I believe that the story about this certain this cup of coffee over here was that she was told that she was going to meet this guy, and then you see the small ring. So she was basically telling me, yeah, you'll meet a guy soon, and he'll put a ring on it. So up. Like this. I'm gonna switch. So as you see, pretty good weather. We have gone here fishing, like me and my older one. Here a couple of times here by the pier. And that's Odin, the Coast Guard vessel. See that over here? Odin. I saw that somebody was asking how coffee arrived in Iceland. So Iceland was I'm sorry, I have a little bit of a problem seeing the screen properly, but Jonah, I see that my mother was born in Iceland, and that was also a tradition. My mother used to do that also. So they would like have a small cube of sugar, and they would basically put it between the teeth, then they would drink the coffee basically through the sugar. This was like they got there. For some reason they didn't put the sugar into the coffee. They would need to filter the coffee through the sugar. So what? About when did it arrive in Iceland? So it's about. We were a Danish colony. Danish merchants and Danish officials basically ruled things here for centuries. There were some Icelanders, of course, that were also controlling things, like the founder of Reykjavik, Skúli the sheriff, Skúli Magnusson. But beginning in the 17th century, some Danish merchants started to import coffee from themselves. 18th century, and it was only the very rich that really had some coffee. But you know, when the coolest people in Iceland were drinking coffee, the others wanted in. So it soon became like a necessary thing to have at each household. The poorest households in Iceland, it was kind of like it was considered very bad taste and very bad hospitality if you didn't have a little bit of coffee for your guests. So you would give your guests a little bit of coffee when they arrived. So you would maybe spare a little bag of coffee to the side. just for guests. So you made sure that you would have something for guests if they arrived. And for some reason, you know, coffee is like it's one of the things that we here in the north, in the Nordic countries, we are crazy about. You know, the three top countries, I think, four top countries per capita of coffee consumption is that Finland is number 1, Iceland is number 2, and I think Norway is number 3. So we are crazy about coffee. So a little bit of a pancake. It's very strange, you know. This is probably the most basic thing here, and for me, it's the best. Like a wafer thin pancake and sprinkle of sugar, and it's just enough. So what are you saying? Hi, Carol. Yes, sorry, I had to pick up my boys, so I started this earlier. I had to pick up my boys from kindergarten. Hilda went hiking to the volcano. So yeah, so I just changed the time, simply using the opportunity of the sunshine that's in Reykjavik today. And yeah. Need maple syrup? No. Well, I'm not, you know, I wasn't used to, I am not used to using maple syrup. I sometimes use a little bit of syrup in like a latte or something like that, but it's not like a traditional thing for me. So what can I say more? So more questions? So yeah, more about coffee. So yeah, soon everybody, you know, even the poorest farmers, that was like a necessary thing to have, like a cup, like a little bit of coffee, and it was even in the beginning of the 20th century that one of the kind of key things for import from abroad was coffee. That was something that you needed to make sure that was important. It's like the top 3 commodity in the world today, coffee. So and it's the same here with Iceland. We so love to have our coffee in the morning, and I think it's been like a lifesaver in many for me at least. So I was showing Carol. I saw that you. So we had a little bit of a. So we have the hjónabandsæla, the happy marriage cake. That's like a very traditional pastry. I think its origins are from Austria, actually, but it evolved here, like, arrived in Iceland with Danish bakers in the 19th century, and this is a very traditional. Then we have lagkaka or layer cake. This is a very common thing for Christmas and confirmations and all kinds of this. And my favorite, like I told you earlier, like a little bit of a pancake. And then the donut of Iceland, kleina.
Alex, Birte und ja.
Best restaurant in Iceland? Wow, hard question.
Wirklich die Leipzig die
But if I had to choose one, I would say
wie heißt das? Skitouring und dann das letzte.
right now I would say grillmarkaðurinn, grill market. I think that would be my
Naja, auf jeden Fall.
my choice right now. But
Ich finde sie ein bisschen.
but you know, since COVID hit, you haven't really been. I haven't really been out eating. So I will have to take a test drive when after this COVID mess is over and get back to you with what's the best one. I'll have to do that sacrifice for you, like trying out different best restaurants of Iceland. Sounds good. Carol, exactly. That's exactly the name. Linsertorta. That's exactly the same. I don't remember. I didn't remember the name in Austria, but I think this is exactly the Austrian Linsertorta that they have just made here. I'm gonna switch here. Looks good, right? So yeah, I told you about the. Told you already about the. I'm gonna show you again here. View. This is quite a nice place to have a coffee by. There's a really nice food hall over there called Grandi food hall, and there you have Harpa Concert Hall. And yeah, this is just plain down by the harbor. So great when before you head out to do the Golden Circle or anything like that. So somebody was asking me about my PayPal. That's a Patreon if you want to join our patrons of Your Friend in Reykjavik and join our private Facebook group. And yeah, I'm not sure why I don't have it anymore. Yeah, I'm messing up here. But sorry, a little bit of technical problems. I'll post it. It's also on the link, but I'll post it afterwards. Sorry. Ken, yeah, the weather is quite good. Is it unusual? No, not really. But you know, there was snowstorm on Saturday, and quite bad weather until the middle of Sunday actually. So it just depends. I think, you know, we have a saying that there are not four seasons in Iceland. It's like it's winter, it's fake spring, it's second winter, it's muddy spring, it's rainy spring, it's third winter, and then spring. So it's you know, you always think that maybe okay, now spring is finally happening, but then there's got a little bit of a season of bad weather. We actually have a saying here called páskahrét. Páskahrét. What does that translate to? Well, Easter bad weather. So there's usually some kind of bad weather that happens around that time. Oh, thank you, Alex. I see Alex posted the link that I was looking for. Yes, winter and slightly less wet winter. Yes, that's exactly here. But just with more people thinking that it's slowly getting better, and then they are hit by worse weather. It's very hard for me to read the screen here. I'm gonna switch here. Alexa, I was told that it's the best weather in the UK for like 50 years, something like that, in March. Is that true? Thank you, Teresa. I try my best to do something while we're waiting. You always feel like you are getting too optimistic. It's the same like with the weather. You're getting too optimistic that it's about to change, that the vaccines are being spread, but then things slow down, and of course there was this problem with this AstraZeneca vaccine that slowed down. Kristin is asking, each town seems to have its own different flavor for the lamb and meat soup. What's your favorite location to get the soup? I would say each family has their own flavor of doing their lamb and meat soup. So it's not just location based. It's based on basically each family. So my best favorite location to get my lamb soup, at my home. I'm pretty proud of myself regarding the meat soup. I think I do a pretty good job. But if I had to choose a second one, I would choose. Unfortunately, the place is closed down right now. There was a place called Hressingarskálen, Hressó, which had a really nice lamb soup that I always went there with my food tours because, quite simply, you know, as I told my travelers, you know, my mother makes the best Icelandic lamb soup, of course, but this place is a close second. But it closed down because of COVID, and so I know it's pretty good at the Íslenski barinn, the Icelandic bar. I have to just test it out again soon. As I said, when you go out, you maybe try something different than you make at home. So usually I don't order Icelandic lamb soup unless I'm traveling, like in another place. But if I have to choose a location, I would choose Westman Islands. And I will also I'm also going to say when. It's during the Westman Island Þjóðhátíð, or the national festival in Westman Islands at the beginning of August. So it's like a 4-day music festival, and the Icelandic lamb soup is the best hangover medicine there is. So Westman Island during Þjóðhátíð. Great to hear, Judy. Nice to hear that people are trying at home the same thing. Trying to switch now again, see if I see the screen. Oh, it's glaring too much. So I'm going to switch again also here. Hi, Michelle. What kind of coffee beans? Probably the most traditional, like I'm gonna check if I have the video of it or no. Something is like a very traditional thing is it's called merrilt. That's like probably the most sold. It's like a medium roasted coffee. But if I would have to choose, from which country, I think Colombia is my kind of like a go-to coffee brand, like a go-to country for coffee. So if I see, like there's one from Tea and Coffee, the same brand that I told you about earlier. This brand over here, Tea and Coffee. So they have Colombia Santos coffee, like a bag of coffee beans. I normally I like to have a coffee bean coffee maker. Hi Kala from Mumbai. Yeah, it's yeah, I need my sunglasses on for nah. Looks like it if I want to see on the screen. I know some stores, Mariana, that are I think Iceland, like Whole Foods would have Icelandic lamb. So if you want to check that out. And try to make sure that you get like lamb with bone, because the stock is so much better if you cook it with the bones. And after cooking, you can strip the meat off the bones and just put it into the soup again to make it easier for your guests. Alexa, let's relax. Alexa was saying, and you're gonna grab some ice cream across the road. There's an excellent ice cream parlor, but I think Alexa wants to see me just round. I have a big enough belly. Susan is asking, do you have any relations in Canada? Probably. Not sure. I don't know. Or do I? No, I don't think so. But probably, if you study anybody Icelandic, really, you go back like seventh generation, something like that, you'll see a common ancestor. Oh, Shannon was saying Whole Foods doesn't carry it anymore. What's my favorite dessert? It's probably like chocolate cake, but I'm not a big dessert guy, to be honest. I'm more like, let's make my steak bigger and let's leave the dessert. Yeah, probably like a little bit of a, but I'm still like, I want to get some little bit of a sweetness after a good meal. So I would probably say that like a little bit of a slice of chocolate cake with maybe some mint or something on top, something like that. So I'm thinking about trying to go to the volcano next week. Somebody was asking me that. And I'll try to have a bag with me or two, but it's a bit of a hike, so carrying 2 bags of stones or rocks for shipment, it's a bit of a job. And yeah, Katerina, of course I have the sun directly shining on me, and fortunately, there's no wind today, so that helps. Of course, if there would be a little bit of wind, then I would that would be with my coat for sure. Well, yeah, any good tea shops? Tea and coffee. It's actually tea and coffee. So they usually have a pretty nice selection. But it's a little bit surprisingly how small of a tea culture is in Iceland. You can of course go into like specialty stores and buy some good tea, but coffee is like the main drink in Iceland. Hilda, my wife, she enjoys her tea more than coffee, but or she doesn't drink coffee really. But yeah, we're more coffee drinkers than tea. So it's many like coffee houses really just have a couple of types of tea available. But yeah, it depends on where you're going. Some have a big box of selection, but yeah. Is it common to have coffee after 4, Sonia? Yes. I know some people have tried to make it, drink less coffee, just to sleep better. But yeah, I drink coffee. It depends on, of course, what's happening, but I'm not maybe at home at 8 p.m. and have a coffee. Well, maybe after a good dinner, but it depends. Yeah, I think the Nordic countries are really. So it was in Sweden also that there's little tea drinking there. Yeah, I think just the Nordic countries, we are very oriented towards coffee and caffeine. Jenny, is decaffeinated coffee popular in Iceland? Not so much, but it's growing. I think a lot of things are growing in Iceland. More restaurants offering like vegan food, more decaffeinated options. So I think it depends. So answer to your question, Evelyn. Yes, we're bound by a place called Kaffivagn. At this place. So guys, I have to go soon to pick up my boys. They're finishing kindergarten at about 4 p.m. It's about to turn 3:30 and then you have to drive. And yes, it's very peaceful here right now. It's just simply beautiful. It's about 5-day isolation right now. It's a 5-day quarantine. Unless you've been vaccinated, of course, then if you can barely provide that, then you're free to go roam. So we have another one scheduled on Saturday for Easter. Check out some chocolate eggs and some sayings, and some will dwell a little bit into those traditions. But I will probably show you more from Akureyri. I'll probably figure out some fun stuff for us to check out over there. Maybe we'll even go dog sledding. There's a little bit of a COVID situation right now in Iceland. 10 people congregation limit, and people really asked don't travel much, but we're just gonna stay in our small bubble. But maybe visit. My father lives in Akureyri to the north, so we're gonna visit them and probably have Easter dinner with them. So I'll get back to you from Akureyri, show you how that looks. So bless. Góðan dag. Have a good day. Sjáumst.